Hello. Thank you for joining us for UK Healthcast, a series of interviews with UK healthcare experts working together to create a healthier Kentucky. I'm Laura Baker, and today I'm joined by Melinda Fox, Administrator for the UK Transplant Center. And today we're talking about organ donation, what the process looks like, and why it's so important for anyone to consider registering as an organ donor. So, hello, Melinda. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So let's first just talk a little bit generally. Why is it so important for someone to even consider registering as an organ donor?
Absolutely. Well, my family has been touched by donation. My uncle received a liver transplant several years ago. So it's both a professional and personal matter for me. But put as simply as possible, organ donation is important because it saves lives and it gives people on the waiting list a second chance at life. In the US, there's over 110,000 Americans waiting on a transplant, and that includes over 1,000 Kentuckians. Every day, 22 people die waiting on that life saving transplant. So it's so critical that people sign up for the organ donor registry. For one donor can save up to 8 lives, and they can also heal up to 50 lives through tissue donation. So there's so much power in donation, and I hope we can talk through the issues today. So hopefully, more people will consider it as an option.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The incredible difference that just one person can make. So, if someone is interested in registering, how do they go about doing that?
So there's a bunch of different options. So back in the old days, it used to be signing the back of your driver's license, but that's not really a valid option anymore. But thankfully, there's a lot of other really easy options for people to explore. So the number one in Kentucky, you can go to donatelifekentucky.org. Takes you right to the front page, and you can click a link there. All you need is your license number, and you can sign up right there on Kentucky's registry. You can also do this when you go to your circuit court clerk to sign up or renew your license or ID. You can also sign up. There's a national registry, and both the Kentucky registry and the national registry are both checked at time of donation. So either one work. And the national registry can be found at registerme.org. And then lastly, for most people who have smartphones these days, on the iPhone, in the health app, right there when you open the health app, there's an option there to sign up for the organ donation registry as well. So a lot of different options for people.
Great. It sounds like they try to make it as easy as possible. So, if I have taken that step and I have registered, I filled out the form or taken one of these options, are there any additional steps that I should consider or any follow up that I need to look at?
Yeah, when I'm talking to family or friends about the registry, I always suggest that they share their wishes with their loved ones. I mean, none of us like to think about that time where this might come into play. But if it does, it will be your loved one's one of the worst days of their life. And so I think it takes a lot of pressure and gives them comfort to know what your wishes are at that time. So, as a first step, I would always share that you've signed up for the registry and what your wishes are with any family or friends.
Great. That's good advice. So, if someone has registered and they get to that point, they're nearing the end of their life or they are soon to be in a position to donate, what does the process look like at that point?
Absolutely. So I'm obviously not intimately involved at that point because I'm the transplant center side. But I would like to stress after this would happen after all life saving measures had been exhausted, because obviously that's the first priority of any healthcare organization and provider is to save the patient. But when it's at that point that we realize that that's not going to be a possibility, the nurse or the provider caring for that patient would then approach the family to see if they were interested in discussing donation. If the family's open to it, or if they look at the registry and see that the patient did sign up for the registry, they're going to call in the organ procurement organization. So there's several of these across the country. Here in Kentucky, ours is CODA, Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, and they have staff, and their whole job is exactly what their title describes. They're called Family Support Liaisons. So they're brought in to work with that donor family, to walk them through what that process is going to look like, the timing of the process, and also just to provide some support and honestly grief resources, because again, this is going to be a very upsetting, stressful time for that donor family. And organ procurement organizations want that family to know that this is not, you're going to make a donation and then that's it. They have specific resources for donor families. They have support groups for donor families. Actually, the aftercare support team is who the donor family would work through if they want to, at some point, meet the recipients of their donors' gifts. So they provide different volunteer activities. I know here in Kentucky, they have at least one annual event where they continue to celebrate that gift that those donors have made. Here at Kentucky, we have a donor wall where we have names added every year, and we celebrate and we thank those donor families and that donor for that special gift of life. So it's a great resource for that family to let them know that that gift lives on and will not be forgotten.
Yeah, I think that's great information. Can you tell us a little bit? So here at UK, we offer organ transplants for heart, liver, lung, kidney, and kidney pancreas transplants. Can you talk generally about what that means, what services we provide, what someone should do if they think they might be a potential candidate for transplant?
Absolutely. So I've been in transplant for a long time, and I know that it is a scary word for many people. The thought of taking an organ from someone and putting it into another person is just very daunting for a lot of people. And so while patients realize they need a transplant and they want to get better, that's still scary. And so here at UK Transplant, we really try to make our goal patient-centered care by a multidisciplinary team. And so from the time of referral, our patients are assigned a nurse coordinator who will help them answer questions, give them education, coach them along in that process, because we really want to provide them with one phone number for our patients to call so that they can get those important questions answered. We also do everything as team-based. So we have a great multidisciplinary team that includes surgeons, physicians, nurses, financial counselors, social workers, pharmacists. So they all coordinate that care together to make sure that the patient is getting both the education and the care across the continuum that they need. To make a referral, we take self-referrals. So we have some patients that just call us. We have a referral line. We have an overall 800 number, and then we also have a referral line for each of our organ teams. And so they can the patient can call themselves, or they can sit down with their local provider, whether it's their primary care provider or perhaps a nephrologist or a GI doc or a cardiologist in the community, and they can make that referral to our center. Either way is fine. And like Laura said, we do all solid organs, and we also do combinations of organs. So we do heart kidney, or we'll do liver kidney. We also have a pediatric kidney program and a pediatric lung program. And we have a pretty robust living donor kidney program, where obviously a living donor can donate to a recipient. So a lot of different options for patients. We also follow our patients forever. So really developing that special bond is important to our team. We want to know their grandkids' names or celebrate with them at birthdays or marriages or returning to work. And so really for us, our goal is just for our patients to get that second chance at life and to live that life to the fullest while protecting that gift that they've been given.
Yeah, that's great. Incredible work that we do. And we have a great team to do it. So, and then finally, I just want to wrap up by asking if someone sees this, they are considering registering, but they need a little more information, where can they go to find that?
Absolutely. So I think there's two great resources in the state of Kentucky. I would definitely go to donatelifekentucky.org. There's a lot of information about donation, statistics about donation. So it's a great resource. Or across the country, there's a great group called Donate Life America, and you can reach all their resources at donatelife.net. So those are both great options if you're interested in learning more about donation, as well as I think both of those pages also have some like myth busters. So I know there's a lot of rumors and myths that swirl around donation, and so you can get more information on both of those websites.
Great. Thank you. So thank you so much for joining us today, Melinda. I think this is a really important topic and it can be really daunting and overwhelming. So I think it's vital information that you provided today. Here at UK Healthcare, we work to provide second chances to those requiring organ transplantation, but we can't do it without the selfless gift of those who donate those organs. We highly encourage our audience to consider registering as organ donors, or if you're on the fence, seek some additional information about the process. You can do that at ukhealthcare.uky.edu/transplant center or at donatelifeky.org.